Do you have a sense why universal languages like Esperanto have not taken off?
Um,
Like, why do we have all these different languages?
yeah. Well, my guess is the function of a language is to do something in a community, and I mean, unless there's some function to that language in the community, it's not going to survive. It's not going to be useful. So here's a great example. So what I'm like, language death is super common. Okay, languages are dying all around the world, and here's why they're dying. And it's like, yeah, I see this in it's not happening right now in either the Chimane or the Pirahan, but it probably will. And so there's a neighboring group called Mositan,
Mhm.
which is I said that it's a isolate. It's actually there's a dual. There's two of them. Okay, so it's actually there's two languages which are really close, which are Mositan and Chimane, which are unrelated to anything else. And Mositan is unlike Chimane in that it has a lot of contact with Spanish, and it's dying. So that language is dying. The reason it's dying is there's not a lot of value for the local people in their native language. So there's much more value in knowing Spanish, like because they want to feed their families. And how do you feed your family? You learn Spanish so you can make money, so you can get a job and do these things, and then you make money. And so they want Spanish things. They want, and so Mositan is in danger and is dying, and that's normal. And so basically, the problem is that people. The reason we learn language is to communicate, and we use it to make money and to do whatever it is to feed our families. And if that's not happening, then it won't take off. It's not like a game or something. This is like something we use. Like, why is English so popular? It's not because it's an easy language to learn. Maybe it is. I don't really know. But that's not why it's popular.
But because it's the United States is a gigantic economy, and
Yeah. It's
therefore,
big economies that do this. It's all it is. It's all about money, and that's what. And so there's a motivation to learn Mandarin. There's a motivation to learn Spanish. There's a motivation to learn English. These languages are very valuable to know because there's so many speakers all over the world.
that's fascinating.
There's less of a value economically. It's like kind of what drives this. It's not about. It's not a. It's not just for fun. I mean, there are these groups that do want to learn language just for language's sake,
Mhm.
and they want, and there's something to that. But those are rare. Those are rarities in general. Those are a few small groups that do that. Not most people don't do that.
Well, if that was the primary driver, then everybody was speaking English or speaking one language. There's also attention.
That's happening.
Not well.
We're moving towards fewer and fewer languages. Exactly.
We are.
Yeah.
I wonder if you're right. Maybe on a this is slow.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where we're moving. But there is a tension. You're saying language at the fringes, but if you look at geopolitics and superpowers, it does seem that there's another thing at tension, which is a language is a national identity sometimes
Oh
for
yeah.
certain nations. I mean, that's the war in Ukraine. Ukrainian language is a symbol of that war in many ways, like a country fighting for its own identity. So it's not merely the convenience. I mean, those two things are at tension. Is the convenience of trade and the economics and be able to communicate with neighboring countries and trade more efficiently with neighboring countries, all that kind of stuff, but also identity
That's right.
of the group.
I completely agree.
Because language is the way for every community, like dialects that emerge are a kind of identity for people.
Yeah.
And sometimes a way for people to say F you to the more powerful people. And it's interesting. So in that way, language can be used as that tool.
Yeah, I completely agree. And there's a lot of work to try to create that identity so people want to do that. As a cognitive scientist and language expert, I hope that continues because I don't want languages to die. I want languages to survive because because they're so interesting for so many reasons. But I mean, I find them fascinating just for the language part, but I think there's a lot of connections to culture as well, which is also very important.